days are full, but oh so sweet as we continue to savor summertime here on the farm out in the country. I'm starting off this morning with a very requested recipe from the kids, and it is biscuits and gravy. So I'm going to start off here with milling some flour for our biscuits. We are still getting so much zucchini from the garden. So these are actually a zucchini cream cheese biscuit. I'm using this recipe from Turquoise Kitchen. It looks so good, and I love that you can include zucchini. So we're gonna start off by shredding our zucchini. Little cheesecloth bags here. I actually use them to make yogurt, but today we're going to use it to squeeze out the liquid in my zucchini. 2 cups of this. It looks like we need to shred a little bit more. Okay, then we'll take this, and then we're just going to squeeze. Alright, we're going to do 5 cups of fresh milled flour. Alright, just took my butter out of the freezer so it's nice and cold, and then the best way to cube butter for biscuits or even for pie crust is definitely to just grate it. Helps it to incorporate so much better without it getting soft. So we're gonna do 1/2 cup of this. This is actually my first time making this recipe, but I can tell it's definitely going to be a rich one, which probably means delicious. It has butter, cream cheese, and cheddar cheese. The recipe actually calls for feta as well. I don't have feta, so I'm just going to do all in cheddar. What are you doing? 1, 2. The crew is all fed, so we are ready to clean up, and then I do have some garden work, some things outside that we need to do, but I think I'm first gonna go and do a little bit of baking. We decided a little bit last minute that I think we're gonna invite my in-laws for dinner tonight. It's my father-in-law's birthday, and so we thought it'd be fun to celebrate. Josh is thawing brisket, and we'll get that smoked, and then I thought it would be fun anyways to make a peach cake. We have a big bowl of peaches that is still deep in peach season, and so I thought it would be fun to just make a nice peach upside down cake. I think I'll do 2 of them and then actually layer them. So let's clean up first and then we can get on with the cake. So excited to get our peach upside down cakes going. But before we do that, y'all know how I like to light my candles whenever I am baking. I feel like it just sets such a cozy vibe. Today's video is sponsored by Antique Candle Company. You guys know how much I talk about them. I am burning these candles so much in our own home and really, really love them. I love that they are 100% clean. So clean wick, clean wax, clean scent, all of it. So you can feel good about burning them even with little kids around. You don't have to worry about getting headaches. Antique Candle did just release their fall line, which is so exciting. So all of these are now available. I have with me pumpkin bread, clove and pine, spice cake. My daughter loves that one, by the way. Maple butter, which has to be my personal favorite. And then pumpkin spice. They are so generous and actually have a 100% happiness guarantee. This comes in a little card in each box that you order so that it's really handy for you to get their information. Basically, if you get a scent that you do not love, they will make it right for you. So they have that information right back here. These are US made, and I also just really love what the company stands behind. But you can get 20% off their entire website, including all of these new scents with my code GOLDENHOUR20. That will give you 20% off any of the new fall collection or anything else on their website. Okay, which one should we burn today? It's gotta be my maple butter one. I just love this one. In fact, it was really funny when I opened the box. Josh looked at the name of the scents and he's like, your favorite is gonna be maple butter, and he was not wrong. Okay, moving on to the cake. I got my pan, I got my parchment paper, my pencil, and my scissors. My sister, who does a lot of like wedding cakes, birthday cakes for people, she should totally start up her own bakery, by the way. She's amazing. But told me that this is how you do it when you make cakes. So very easy for those of us that didn't yet know. You just draw a circle, literally cut it out, put it in here just to make it fit nicely into a round pan. Very nice. Got my now round. I think you can also buy these little cake rounds. But with it being an upside down, peach upside down cake, I want to make very sure that this will be easy to dump out. I don't want any pieces trying to stay stuck in my pan. So we're gonna do the parchment paper, and I'm actually gonna put a decent amount of butter on top of the parchment paper just to give us the best chance of having a clean cut after we take it out of here. And I do want to do a layered cake, but I think I only have one of these pans, and so I'm just gonna have to do it 2 times over. I cannot wait to try this recipe. I actually want to try to do this completely refined sugar-free, which is a little bit of a challenge because you pour kind of like a caramel sauce over this. I know you can make like a date caramel, but I wasn't sure that I wanted to do caramel with peaches, but I did find a recipe that uses honey. So I'm gonna use from our raw honey to make an actual caramel sauce, and we'll see how that turns out. I've never made caramel out of honey before, but what we're gonna do first is just cut up our peaches and we'll arrange them, hopefully in a nice pattern in the bottom of this, because that's what's gonna be the top of our cake later. Those are some pretty pictures. Abby, what are you drawing?
I'm drawing a bee thing.
A bee thing?
A bean thing.
Oh, bean. That's so nice. Okay, I love it. You're doing a great job. And Kyra here has this picture of barn swallows that were in the barn, and she is painting it. She is so talented. Wow, that looks beautiful. It almost looks nicer than the actual picture. That's really nice. I love it. The peaches are arranged in the pan now, so I'm starting on my caramel sauce, which is a 1/4 cup of butter, and then I'm just putting in 1/2 cup of raw honey, and we're gonna heat this for, it says for like 10 minutes, but until it's like a little bit of a darker color and a little bit thicker. And then we're actually gonna add a bunch of cream. While we wait on the honey, I'm gonna go ahead and make the flour portion of our batter here, which is gonna be a cup of fresh milled flour. I'm gonna do 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder and then a little bit of nutmeg. Give that a stir. And I'm actually waiting on my butter to soften enough so that we can mix that with the wet ingredients. The honey is a nice amber color now, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a cup of heavy cream. All right, I got my batter finished here. We whipped the butter with some vanilla and eggs. I will leave how I'm doing this recipe down there because the further I go, the more I'm deviating from the actual recipe. I have my caramel sauce here. I would say it looks a lot like normal caramel does, but it might be just a little bit thinner. So hopefully that works out. I think about half of what I have here is gonna be the right amount. So that'll be perfect if I wanna do 2 cakes to just divide this in half. Okay, and then on top of the caramel, we're gonna put our batter, and then we'll bake it for about 30 to 35 minutes. I'm scooping my batter on like this because it's not a ton of batter, and I want to make sure that I don't have to mess up my peaches in the bottom when I spread it. You try this caramel? Well, I think we are getting a little bit rained out. It's already drizzling. I had some things that I really wanted to do out here before the rain. I think we might get started and see a little bit how it goes. If the rain picks up, we're gonna have to just do this later. But I have some carrots to plant and a bunch of things to pick. So, okay, hang on. Hopefully we'll be back for round 2 in a little bit. It is starting to dump. Well, call me a stubborn little donkey if you want. I'm back out here, what, 5-10 minutes later? It is not pouring, it is drizzling now, and I hear thunder in the distance, so I know this won't last long. According to the map, we are gonna get dumped in probably a matter of minutes, but I really wanted to pick my dahlias before they would get rained on, because then they get heavy and they just don't look near as nice. So I'm gonna try to at least get that done before it dumps rain. Really need to deadhead these as well. I don't think I'll have time for that too much right now. Well, that did not last too long. I got just a couple of beautiful blooms picked and it is dumping rain again. So I'm gonna head back inside and hopefully we can soon actually come out here and pick what we need to pick in the garden. Do a little check-in here with our meat. Ooh, those are going to be delicious this evening. Well, it is significantly later now, but I am back out. I think we're good for the rain right now. And so I am back out here. I'm not gonna worry about the dahlias right now. They are soaked. It actually dumped rain for quite a while. So I'm gonna focus on my cucumbers. I like when they stay small for pickles, and so I wanna work on picking those now, but the time was not wasted. The girls and I, we were working on cleaning up green beans inside. It was just too dark to film much. So anyway, we've done some different things. Kyra made some granola for us. I made it's like a cream cheese whipping cream mix for our peach upside down cake. So we did knock out just a couple of things in there. We'll pick some of this, and then I guess I will need to go back inside and get ready for my in-laws coming for dinner. Okay, here's our little haul for today. We've got the cucumbers, a couple of tomatoes, and then this side has peppers, and this side has green beans. Well, it is a couple days later now. Dinner was delicious. I wish I could have let you try that peach upside down cake. Definitely something that we want to make again this season. It was so good. I did want to share with you this mug. I had made a nice little drink with it actually the day I was filming during the rain, and I never showed it to you. But this is from that same small shop that I showed you another one of these like pottery mugs a little while ago. So many of you went and got one. I'm so happy to hear how many of you are loving it. But this is another one from their new collection. This one says sow the seeds, which how fitting is that, especially as a mom, as a daily reminder. It is just so beautiful. It comes in 3 different colors, and my discount code this golden hour is still good. And then I also got this print this time. This one says, "Great is thy faithfulness." I just got this frame off Amazon. I can link both of these below, but you already saw this previously, I believe, in a clip. I have it hanging by my sink, and I just love that daily reminder. Okay, and then I did want to pop in a little bit of our homeschool plans at the end of this video. I know some of you always want to know them. Some of you, it's not quite your thing. So I thought I'd pop it in the end here this time instead of making a whole separate video on it. So these are our homeschool plans along with some other things. I didn't actually sit and think through, do I have every single thing? So this should at least give you a good idea of what we're doing. Starting off with Bible. We actually do our Bible for our family devotions. It's kind of interchangeable for us, and we're currently going through these. This is the Kingdom of God. We really, really love everything by Lethos Kids. I'm not sure how they say it, but they have beautiful books. I have a lot of them, not quite all of them, but I often keep my eye out on sales. I love how many pictures there are, especially the little kids. That's really captivating for them. I think even the big kids really like it. And then each chapter has this little segment at the end, which is really fun and just kind of helps the kids to think it through. It has God's presence, God's people, God's plan, God's promise, and then some questions for the kids. It has a little prayer. We have just been really happy with this, and we actually have a couple more books that we already want to go through after this. Okay, no specific order. Well, I probably should have put this in some specific order. I guess we're going to start off with writing, which you'd think of as a little bit more of a supplemental subject, if you will. We have a couple different ones that we're going through. So these are from The Good and the Beautiful, and I'll be talking a little bit more about all the different things we're doing. We're definitely not just sticking with one curriculum, but I was really happy with their handwriting. So I have a couple different ones. This one is cursive. This one is more just creative writing. It has some really good prompts in there, poetry, different things like that. So they won't necessarily be doing these at the same time, and these are also just for the big kids. They'll be doing this as well as we want to do typing with them this year. So it'll just kind of be spread throughout the year. Maybe first work on one book, then do the next one, and so on. I got little nature journals this year. Last year I got way fatter books, and it always feels so good to start in a new notebook at the beginning of a new school year. And so I bought thinner ones this year so that we could actually fill them up within a year. Okay, another new thing for us this year that the kids are already loving, and yes, we actually already have started school about a month and a half ago. I never was open to the idea of year-round schooling. However, this year I've just really been praying throughout the summer, like for direction and guidance with our school. Again, this year it's something that we kind of reevaluate every year and just try to figure out what best could serve our family. And I always thought of year-round schooling as like then you're tied down all year long, because whenever we would start school, you know, in the fall, I felt like I had taken on another full-time job, and it was, much as I love it and I absolutely love having my kids around and being able to be the one to pour into them more and teach them even school and all of that, it has just been really overwhelming with how much work it is, because it is truly like another full-time job. And so I felt like just kind of the draw to try this year-round schooling approach more, and so far it has gone really well. I've been a little bit hesitant to say anything just because it is very new for us, but basically what we're doing, or the plan, is they're well in their school year with math so far, which we are doing teaching textbooks again and really have loved that. Last year, is this our third year or second year? I don't even remember, but the kids have been just diving right back into that and loving it so much. And so that has been a good fit kind of for summer, I feel like. And we're also already started into history. So the plan is basically we'll never have like a big load, but rather a small load throughout the whole year. And then it hardly even feels like we're doing school because it takes so little time. Anyway, so we're really excited for that. And especially as the kids get into older grades, I really want them to get a solid, you know, education, which I know there's so many different approaches and thoughts on what that actually even means, but this just makes it a little bit more attainable for them, as well as they don't either like to do school like in the afternoons and things like that, and this just allows a little more flexibility in their days by being a little more structured with some school, maybe even throughout most of the year. So another favorite has been music, and they've already been doing this. This is one that they keep begging to do. And it's actually an elective that's new to The Good and the Beautiful. This one is completely student-led, they would say, although I like to pop in and hear what they're learning and all of that. But this one is via DVD, and it's really cool how they've set it up. A lot of actual live music, learning more about classical music, and all of that. Okay, for our first grader / kindergartner, she's kind of between the two. She is doing The Good and the Beautiful for math as well as language arts. And so we've already started language arts for her. For that one, we flipped because Josh is the math teacher and his work is slower in the winter, and so that just works better for him to teach math in the winter. We are also doing The Good and the Beautiful's science, and I think that's the last thing here from The Good and the Beautiful. We're starting off with their safety unit, and so we have the student journals, and they also recently came out with the young kids student journals. This is for K through grade 2, so got 2 of those for the younger girls. For history this year, we are doing Tuttle Twins textbooks. So we did their, just the little books, whatever they're called, a couple years ago, and the kids really liked them. I didn't even realize I had textbooks. I'm not sure, maybe these are newer too. I'm not sure when they came out, but so far this has been such a fun setup and way to learn history. And so this one is also one that we have already started. This is the first book, and then we're not into the second book yet, but that is the plan. Okay, are we still doing campfire? Yes, we are still also planning to do campfire. Now this is, you won't recognize this cover from their website, because as I was putting away our school books from this past school year, all of these unit studies and everything, I was like, man, these were so fun and so educational. I think these are something the kids would actually just page through and reference, especially some of their favorite ones, like the vet unit. One of our daughters really is into vet stuff. I think she would reference that as a textbook. I really wish we could just pop them in the bookshelf here and have them for the kids to continue referencing and looking at. But with the spiral bound, I just felt like, they just kind of dump over. You know how they don't just sit up nice. So all that to say, I went and printed our first unit from Barnes and Noble. Now, we did one of the 50 states units last year, And when I went to download it again this year, I noticed the cover looked exactly the same when you download it. And so I was like, man, it'd be fun to kind of differentiate between the different ones. So I asked them if I'm allowed to put my own cover on the book, and they were totally fine with it. So that's what I did. I just popped a new cover. This print is one that I had purchased off Etsy a while ago, and it kind of looks like our area and one of the states that we're learning about in this unit is Pennsylvania. So I thought, you know what, that would be really fun. And so that's what it is. Otherwise, everything on the inside is exactly like their units, but I'm really excited to try it. I don't know if we'll stick with this the whole year, doing it the hardcover, but I am excited just for it being a little bit more conducive to actually keeping and continue referencing. Now, having said all that, we are planning to do these, but not the core connections. So if you watch some of my homeschool stuff from last year, you can learn more about what the difference is. We are planning to still do note-taking and then just the basics, as in everything but the core connections in here. So really excited about that. The kids were actually requesting if we could please keep doing unit studies from Campfire. And so I'm excited to continue incorporating that this year. We truly loved it so much last year. And then finally, what I have here is Fix-It Grammar. We did supplement with a little bit of this last year, and you can totally use just this as core connections, but just especially as some of the kids get older, I do like to just supplement with a little bit of grammar, and this one worked really well last year, has come in highly recommended, and so I'm excited to incorporate that this school year as well. That's everything for books. We are still planning to do our homeschool co-op. The kids do have some Passion Project Fridays, which was such a highlight last year. And we'll have some more things along with that are top secret at this point, and I think the kids are within hearing distance. So I'm going to save those for later. But that gives you a pretty good idea of what the plan is for this school year, this year. And I hope that is helpful for you. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you were inspired. Don't forget to check out Antique Candle Company if you are looking for some delicious smelling, clean scents for your home. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, friends.
Golden, golden thing.